You're listening to DraftKings Network.
You know that sound. It's the sound of money hitting your Venmo account, a friend paying you back, or maybe it's getting cash back from your favorite business when you pay with the Venmo debit card, or it's realizing you can pay with Venmo at checkout at thousands of brands. Now, there are so many more ways to answer the question, what's your Venmo? Download Venmo today. The Venmo MasterCard is issued by the Bancorp Bank N.A. pursuant to license by MasterCard International Incorporated. Dosh Cashback terms apply.
You know what's smart? Enjoying a fresh gourmet meal at home that you didn't have to cook. Meet Factor, your loophole in the laws of mealtime. Chef-crafted meals delivered with a tap, ready in just 2 minutes. You know what's even smarter? Treating yourself without cheating your goals. Factor is dietitian approved, chef prepared, and you plated. Pretty smart, huh? Refresh your routine and eat smart with Factor. Learn more at factormeals.com.
This is the Dan Le Batard Show with the Stugotz podcast.
At some point, thank you, Amin, for coming in and immediately shuffling papers when they're counting us in and trying to keep the sound pristine. Excellent start to the segment. And as always, we appreciate the drunken meanderings of one Amin Al-Hassan when he comes into town and graces us with his expertise.
I've been dry since the holiday party.
Way to go.
Did you learn something? Are there more parts of that story that are unknown? Because as an adult man, you probably shouldn't be drinking so much that you fall on your face.
That's not what happened.
Whoa. Right.
That's not at all that happened. Mm-hmm. I fell, and I haven't had a drink since. I did not link those two things together.
I've fallen.
We all have.
After the Christmas party and drinking too much?
That night, but...
Didn't drink too much. I wasn't the one doing shots out of a hockey stick.
No, that was me. I wasn't the one falling on my face and needing surgery on my lip.
Well, I didn't need surgery.
Shots out of a hockey stick is just a fun sentence.
Yeah, it's great. I remember, please get the sound and the video of one of my favorite moments of the holidays ever that I've experienced, which is Roy Bellamy staring as David Dwork does shots with Greg Cody at the holiday party, and a real moment of camaraderie is lost between Roy and his hockey host because Greg Cody, an older man, has stolen David Dwork from him. I've rarely seen anything funnier than that. And now, all of a sudden in the new year, Roy is shaving off his eyebrows accidentally so he could keep up with the younger man, Greg Cody, in keeping David Dwork's interests.
I haven't had a drink since July, so
Wow.
July?
July.
Since the Panthers won the cup?
Amazing.
Yeah,
That's crazy.
It is crazy. Yes. Very crazy.
Well, you're, again, making the holiday party about how you didn't have a drink and, again, boring us with tales of how it is that you're dry. I saw the look on your face. You were jealous because Greg Cody was having more fun with your co-host. It was not about the liquor. It was about David Dwork.
It was about the liquor.
Yeah, are we sure?
I don't really drink.
Roy hasn't drank since this happened.
All right, we have made it from Arena to the infield, which is a couple blocks down.
Roy still doesn't think that's funny. You understand why it's funny, Roy? Because you sound drunk even though you're denying you're drunk. You keep saying, I didn't have anything to drink, but there's the proof.
All right, we have made it from Amarin Beck Arena to the infield, which is a couple blocks down.
You understand? So you deny that you were drunk, but it's very clear through the sound that you can play again here, Chris, that you are clearly drunk. This is how a drunk announcer would sound.
All right, we have made it from Amarin Beck Arena to the infield, which is a couple blocks down.
I did not have a drink.
He was euphoric. It was a big day. The Panthers won. Ice Cats.
He was drunk on hockey, dude.
Yeah, euphoria. Today, me and Roy played tag in the morning. It was fun.
Also, sometimes people stumbled in without alcohol being involved.
Yep.
It happens.
It happened to me. Yeah.
Happened to me.
Ludicrous.
I would argue that one of those stumblings is what you just did in not listening to what it is that Billy just tossed you, that you ran right past and couldn't even tell me what it is right now.
I believe that's a $7 fine for me to the Venmo fine bucket. Has anyone contributed yet?
Yes, no, we have not.
Okay, I'll be the first.
All right, we've got a new fine bucket. It's $1 for a mistake. It is $2 for coughing and phlegm, $3 for pest pestering, $5 for tone, $7 for not listening, $10 for phone interruption, $50 for death, and fines are doubled on Tuesdays when Greg Cody is here.
The Venmo fine bucket. Love it.
It's at Billy L. Gill. Just send the
Oh,
money
no.
that way.
I send it to the bucket. I don't send it to you.
Oh.
From the maker of It's Opposite Day.
Which is January 25th. We looked it up.
Oh, it's early. Is it a leap
man.
year?
Ooh, I can't wait.
Why was it different this year? Must be like Thanksgiving.
From the maker of It's Opposite Day. I mean, I'm going to give you the information, and you're going to see the errors of your ways, and I think the $7 not listening fine should be doubled.
What?
Well, I think your reaction
It's only on Tuesdays with Greg. I mean,
I think
Or January 20th.
your reaction to hearing for the first time what you should have heard, because listening is an important feature of this show, is the follow-up questions I assume you're going to ask when I tell you that Billy Gill said that him and Roy played tag this morning. You didn't even hear that.
No.
Was it
Not even
phone
close.
tag? I hate phone tag.
No, I don't. Was it?
I hate it.
I assumed it was actual tag, and I was shocked because Roy playful during a dry time is not something that I can imagine in my wildest imaginations.
Yeah, Billy ran across the street and tapped me on the back. That's tag.
Yeah, so what happened was...
Sounds like Roy's it.
yeah, you're it.
He is it. So that's exactly what happened. Is so we have to cross two different streets, and there's cars coming, but there's a crosswalk that tells you time's counting down. So I was running to beat that, because if not, you're there for like 20 minutes, and it was cold this morning. And I saw Roy, so as I ran past him, I tagged him. I said, "Tag, you're it," and I kept running. And then he just gave me a death stare, and I realized Roy doesn't want to play tag right now.
Irony, that's exactly how I fell. Playing tag.
Who were you playing tag with, Roy?
With Roy.
Really?
We were both dry.
So Roy was it when I tagged him then.
By the way, it's timeout. You can't tag me.
From the maker of It's Opposite Day. Billy Gill tried to play tag with Roy. Roy was not feeling playful. He was also not feeling playful when this happened at the holiday party, where you can see for yourself that he is jealous. And this is not about being dry. This is also not about I haven't had anything to drink in many months. This is everything about David Dwork and Greg Cody are drinking shots themselves. And when you focus in on Roy's face, you will see there that there's nothing but horror. And I see jealousy there. Billy, do you not see jealousy there? Because you were shaking your head. I could see you shaking your head here earlier in the segment, even though it's hidden behind a dinosaur.
I can't see anything, Dan. I just asked who's the fourth person.
The zoom. Now, here's the thing. When they pull the hockey stick back, though, if you let it watch, his eyes follow the stick. So I'm going to side with Roy. He's staring at the alcohol.
Yes.
Damn right I am.
He's envious of other people getting drunk.
Exactly.
Yes.
Let it run. Run that video again. And then watch as the stick gets pulled back where Roy's eyes follow. He doesn't stay on Greg Cody and on Dave. It goes with the alcohol. Boom. Shots up. Roy's staring. Stick comes back.
You're
Yep,
right.
You see that?
You're
See where his
right.
eyes go?
Is it possible Roy's mad that they wasted a perfectly good hockey stick? Because he told me this weekend that he's learning to skate to play hockey, so I think that now he's in the zone.
Wow.
Yes, I am. I have hockey equipment. I'm learning how to skate, and hopefully that, because the Panthers are going to host the Winter Classic next season.
You're playing?
I'm not playing in the actual game, no. But
you
there
have to
might be
cut-
a media game, so I'm
A media game. Wow.
Sounds
Interesting.
dangerous.
Right. Who's the best hockey player of all the media members that you're aware of? Is it Minervini? I think he's pretty good.
Minnie, yeah.
Minnie's good. He plays pickup hockey.
Probably Ed
His son's a goalie.
Probably Ed Jovanowski.
Will Mansell?
Yeah, that's probably a good idea.
Non-former player division, right? Because we're not going to do Randy Moeller. We're going to do media members who aren't. We have not talked enough about that team. We're going to do it again this season. The thing that I want to ask the group here, because this is a fairly fascinating time in Miami, and I'm guessing that the majority of the audience, if they're not already tired of us talking for 2 days about Jimmy Butler and Tyreek Hill, will soon be tired of it. But it is super.
Don't leave out the Padres.
It is super rare. You guys weren't interested in that story, huh? No,
I mean, Super Wild Card Weekend is coming up.
Let's talk about it February 11th after the Super Bowl.
It's always interesting to me though when you guys are interested about money. Like you guys are. It really is funny to me, right? Because Jimmy Butler, Tyreek Hill, it's all money, 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 money. It doesn't matter. When it's that, you're fascinated. But when it's the big money, when it's the money that families fight over, and Woody Johnson is making his teenage kids the team, then you don't care unless I give you the details of, oh, rich family treats the whole thing as a stupid toy. Isn't that funny? How they ruin Aaron Rodgers at the end because it's a rich family stupid toy.
What about me makes you think that's funny? I mean, I represent Jet fans here. I am the only Jet fan here.
I am.
None of it's funny. I've known that for 2.5 decades.
This is the part that I'm fascinated by, that I want to talk about with you and Amin, because I don't get it as a content strategy thing. I've been telling you for years that when John Skipper and David Sampson talk with Pablo Torre, the amount of business information there is something that the business world is chewing up, because they can't believe that's out there and for free, a knowledge of how it is to dominate the sports business. What do you mean you can just get that expertise by downloading 50 minutes? Because we cover it very poorly in sports, because in the mainstream media, we obsess about the Tyreek Hills and the Jimmy Butlers, and these owners hide in the shadows and we don't know anything about them, and they are these shadowy creatures that are covered very poorly until all of a sudden Donald Sterling stumbles into it for the 7,000th time, and
then we care.
And then they can't hide it anymore.
Well, then I'll say this. There's two reasons for that. Reason number one is there's a dearth of people who actually know these things, right? David Sampson, me, Mike Tannenbaum, I don't know, he's not on ESPN anymore. Like the number of people who work in front office and are willing to speak frankly, not just...
That's the big thing, though, that I'm telling you is on the Sporting Class podcast, where it's like this information, nobody gives it publicly. Mm-hmm. How it is these commissioners get run through on these TV contracts because people keep assigning some strength to the people running college football, and they've been played for fools already by the money.
Now, the other side of this, I'm going to say, is part of the grander problem, I think, about sports. And I talked about this to you when Georgia Tech was playing Miami. And I said, it's so fun just to be a dumb fan. I don't know who the AD at Georgia Tech is. I don't know. I just know that my team's going to kick your ass. And that's kind of what makes the whole business work, is a bunch of people who don't ask too many questions about where's this money trail headed.
This is one of the reasons, though, Stugotz, that I am super interested in the way all of this stuff is covered, because we can all agree, right? Whatever you think old-timey television soap operas are, this is the place where the men have the most permission to be just interested in all the little soap opera things. What is Tyreek doing with his Twitter account? Like, we can sink right into all of it freely. I want the juicy drama on everything. And so in Miami right now, we have two star players fighting over what is a giant amount of money for them and not a giant amount of money for the guy who runs that franchise into the ground and builds F1 arenas and runs this economy in the neighborhood all around him into the cemetery, while growing something that he profits from greatly, that he will have a succession plan for, but will end with Tyreek Hill and Jimmy Butler no longer being in town, and us talking about the small little money details without caring about the real money.
I don't think people, to Amin's point, and I'm with him on this, people really care about the ownership, how they go about running and operating their team. Like, people only have so much that they can be concerned about, only so much bandwidth, only so much they can pay attention to. And the higher you get in sports, Dan, the more tricky and complicated those discussions get. And people aren't in on tricky and complicated conversations when it comes to sports. They have enough of those in their life with their family, with their job, with work, with all of that stuff.
But how about the interesting parts?
They
of the
just want to fire a coach.
But you're interested when Woody Johnson's kids are involved, and you're also interested when I tell you the story.
I'm not, though.
You're interested
Well.
when I tell you this story. You're going to tell me you're not interested in Woody Johnson's teenage kids are running the Jets, Stugotz?
I'm interested in the Jets finally being good. I'm interested in the Jets finally making a Super Bowl. I'm interested in the Jets drafting the right quarterback. Those are the things I'm interested in. There's nothing I could do about Woody Johnson and his family. He owns the Jets. What am I going to do about it?
I think, to Dan's point, it's infinitely more interesting and noteworthy when the franchise in question has a history of being awful. Jets, that's interesting, right? We care because the Jets, awful. Awful for a long time. Laughing stock, right?
Browns.
Donald Sterling, easy. Browns, easy. Padres? I don't care as much. Heat? Dolphins even?
You may not care about the Padres. The Padres were a game away from changing the entire way the last baseball season ended and have been playing the big money game in a way that's confusing 4 or 5 years.
We're back to the Pods. Huh?
The reason that I'm coming back to the Pods is because there are ways to make this interesting, and one of the ways I would say even Stugotz would be interested is when Keon Dooling gets on to Micky Arison's boat with Shaquille O'Neal, and says to him, Shaq, you ain't rich. This is rich. I thought people were interested in the amount of money at the top of the food chain that ends up controlling all the other money while we talk about Tyreek Hill and Jimmy Butler wanting money they're not going to get because the owners in power are better at these games than the players are.
Dan, I'm going to say it again. Unless it comes with extended ineptitude, fans don't care. They're more concerned about the product on the field. I'll give you a great example. A guy that we talked about a lot, not just we on the show, we across basketball media talked about a lot for a long time. Jim Dolan. Jim Dolan, worst owner. Jim Dolan, worst owner. Knicks got good. How much Jim Dolan talk have we had? None.
Right.
Because now the product is worth talking about. Right? Jeannie Buss. And the Buss family, oh my God, that soap opera. It coincided with the Lakers have been bad for a long time, right? All of these things are conjoined.
I mean, I'll take that one step further. If the Knicks win a championship, they will praise Jimmy Dolan.
I don't know about
no, they
that.
will. They will.
They'll praise Leon
They
Rose.
have short memory. They
won't praise the owner. They'll praise. I'm talking about the fan base.
Right.
The fan base will praise Leon Rose. They'll praise Tibbs. They'll definitely praise. The guy who gets the most praise is going to be Jalen Brunson. Because, again, that's what the fans connect to. What's happening here. It's almost like, you know how they say, like, in football, like the quarterback's supposed to be the smartest guy, and then the next smartest guys are the offensive line, and then the farther out you get, the more kind of specialized people are. It's the same thing. The closer you are to the action on the court, that's where the fans put the importance on. The players, number one. And if the players outside, then it's the next thing is the coach. And the next thing after the coach is the general manager. And the owner is far, far removed and often on purpose. Sometimes you get a Mark Cuban, you get a Jerry Jones, can't help himself in front of a microphone. Go, I'm the star of the show. But for the most part, like Miami Heat fans, how many times have you heard what Micky Arison's voice sounds like? You have no idea. They have no idea what he sounds like. Because
Sounds like this.
Well, actually, that's not what it sounds like. I promised.
Oh, wrong, Mickey.
I promised Micky Arison a long time I wouldn't play this sound anymore, but now it's too good to not play because it is one of the great
Gonna
classics.
get another call, Dano.
In the history of the show.
Another
And now-
sleepless night.
Yeah, well, now we are again. Now you see, you guys, man, you guys.
Us guys, we're trying to build Pat a statue on the roof.
Yeah.
I actually approved the budget for that during one of the breaks.
Oh, thank you.
I got a counter. They said, "What if we put it on the pool deck?" I'm like, "No, roof."
I think the pool deck works.
ooh, I'd rather the pool
Looking
deck.
right down
No.
at
Right
it.
there on
Billy-
that balcony.
Billy, stay strong.
Where Billy,
Roof
Billy,
or bust.
There's 49 floors on this building.
Yeah, that's why.
Billy, right where you did the yoga in the intro, right there, that's perfect. My idea is to have Pat from when they lost to the Knicks in 2000 and he had his hands against the wall like that, but just on the balcony overlooking the arena.
I want, please get me the sound, Chris. This goes way back in the library. It is some precious, precious sound. Look, I'm going to tell a couple of stories here to explain to everyone here.
Be careful, man.
Okay, all right. But when look, This is a good story I'm about to tell. I have never told this story before, and I legitimately do not know what I'm about to say, how it is that it happened. Okay,
I'm going to move my mic away because I'm not going to interrupt this story.
Okay, but if you guys want to understand how it is that money moves are made and why it is that I'm telling you, man, shouldn't you be more interested in how it is the big money plays, okay?
Oh, he took his glasses off. I'm moving my mic away.
It's a good story. That's a good story. I don't know whether I should tell it, but now we're here.
Oh, you're telling it.
So when you say that people do not know what Micky Arison sounds like, he did an interview with us during the height of the Big Three when any aggregated thing would make a mess for everybody involved. And he said, among other things, some form of, well, what do you want me to do about where it is that Chris Bosh can or can't go? I can't control their freedom. It's not whatever it is, wherever it is we were, slave days, I don't control freedom. That sound never got out after being live. People couldn't access where that sound went. They were asking me if I had covered it up. I didn't know where it went. It disappeared from wherever the places are that stuff would make an appearance. And I've never heard it since, and it never was a thing because it was simply live and then vanished. Something that was our sound that would have been an aggregated national controversy that the Heat did not need just vanished in ways that I don't understand.
I know how it vanished. The Fixer.
Oh, boy.
The bald guy?
Oh, you know it.
So many calls.
Do we have that sound? Can we play it?
What sound?
Oh, we don't have it. Okay, it doesn't exist.
I don't know because Chris Cody, the sound that I'm talking about, I don't have that sound. I don't know where that sound is anymore. I don't know. That sound disappeared when it happened, and I didn't understand why it happened, and that never became a thing, and we never talked about it again. The sound I'm talking about predates Amin. I don't think Amin knows what we're talking about when we reference one of the most famous sounds in show history that involves Micky Arison. Chris Cody doesn't know what it is that I'm talking about.
I don't know.
Yes, you do, Stugotz.
I do know.
Stugotz.
I do know.
Stugotz.
I know.
Do you not know?
Is this the expose where he admitted to putting air in chips?
Yes.
Stugotz, you don't know the sound I'm about to play that I have told Micky Arison that we're not playing anymore because it's a problematic sound.
Mickey Aaron chips, man. That was a good day. I do know the sound. I'm aware of the sound, yes. I'm just scared for you to play it. Yeah.
I just want to hear his voice. I don't care if he talks about the weather.
Chris can't find it because he doesn't know the joke I'm talking about. Micky Arison is not a public speaker, okay? So he is outside this arena here, and there's a parade full of people out front, and the slogan for the Miami Heat at the time is "Stay White," and.
Oh, no, it was white hot.
Excuse me.
Yeah.
Excuse me. I just can't believe that nobody around here knows this story. It's like one of the most famous in the show's history.
Well, clearly I know the story.
And I'm surrounded by people who don't know this story when it's sound that vanished that the people around here should know the story.
Well, you're telling us the story.
We moved our mics away.
How am I telling a story that is one of the most famous in show history that no one here knows that story? How is it possible when everyone here knows the story?
I think we're trying to figure out which story. Is it the Stay White story or the sound disappearing story?
Because that story was leading us there.
The sound disappearing story is not something that any of you knew.
Correct.
The other story, no, don't tell me to stop banging on the table when I don't understand. We're celebrating our 20th anniversary, and I got a room full of people who don't know the most famous shit we've done.
But it could be a you problem, not an us problem.
It could be.
We're all confused.
Admittedly.
Yes.
I do want to refer to the Venmo bucket fine chart.
Tone?
Tone, $5.
Yeah.
So
lucky you didn't do it on a Tuesday.
Yeah.
Do you guys not understand why this would be just exasperating to me? Here's the story. And forgive me for getting it wrong the first time. I am really in a state of discombobulation because I can't believe our crew doesn't remember big moments in show history.
Let me move my mic away.
The owner,
we don't know which story.
The owner of the Miami
I'm moving the mic away.
was speaking in front of a whole lot of black people during a parade. The slogan for the team at the time was white hot, and he told those black people in an echoing way that sounded like a Klan rally in an auditorium to stay white. Stay white.
You've heard the voice.
Thank you. Yes.
But whose fault is this?
I mean, come on, man.
This is a message from sponsor Intuit TurboTax. Guys, Taxes was waiting and wondering and worrying if you're going to get any money back whatsoever, and then waiting, wondering, and worrying some more. Now Taxes is matching with a TurboTax expert who can do your taxes as soon as today. An expert who gives your taxes their undivided attention as they work on your return while you get real-time updates on their progress so you can focus on your day. An expert will find your every deduction possible and file every form, every investment, everything with 100% accuracy. All so you can get the most money back guaranteed. No waiting, no wondering, no worries. Now this is Taxes. Get an expert now on TurboTax.com. Only available with TurboTax Live, full service, real-time updates only on iOS mobile app. See guarantee details at TurboTax.com/guarantees.
Wow.
What's up?
I just bought and financed a car through Carvana in minutes.
You? The person who agonized 4 weeks over whether to paint your walls eggshell or off-white bought and financed a car in minutes?
They made it easy. Transparent terms, customizable down and monthly. Didn't even have to do any paperwork.
Wow.
Mm-hmm. Hey, have you checked out that spreadsheet I sent you for our dinner options?
Finance your car with Carvana and experience total control. Financing subject to credit approval.
The Dan Le Batard Show with Stugotz is sponsored by BetterHelp. Every January feels like a fresh start. 365 blank pages, just waiting for your story to be written. In 2025, maybe you're ready for a plot twist. Ready to revise the parts of your story holding you back. Life isn't about New Year's resolutions that disappear by February. It's about picking up the pen and becoming the author of your life. Therapy can help you do just that. Therapy isn't just for the big traumas. It's for anyone who wants to grow, heal, and thrive. With BetterHelp, therapy is convenient and affordable. It's fully online. You can access it anywhere, anytime. BetterHelp connects over 5 million people with a network of 30,000 licensed therapists, specialized, experienced, and ready to help. If it's not a right fit, you can switch therapists at any time at no extra cost. Write your story with BetterHelp. Visit BetterHelp.com/DLB today to get 10% off your first month. That's BetterHelp, HELP.com/DLB.
Dan Le Batard.
That was a long story.
Yeah.
That's the only kind he tells.
Here's a short one for me. I tried to speed it up for you guys.
You forgot about the Leagues Cup. Stugotz.
Yeah.
La Carreta is a place where the best of the celebrations has to be the 97 Marlins celebration because it was Levon
Well, when
Hernandez.
Fidel died the first time.
This is the Dan Le Batard Show with the Stugotz.
This episode of the Dan Le Batard Show with Stugotz is presented by Smirnoff. We do game days. Please drink responsibly. The Smirnoff Company, New York, New York.
We have a victory lap to get to, and also I need to understand from Billy and others if we're going to involve Matt Kugler, soft-talking Matt Kugler, new producer of South Beach Sessions, if we're going to involve him on the decision-making that is, do we air Pat Riley this year or this week, or do we not air Pat Riley because we did an interview for South Beach Sessions? But before I do that, I have to go to Billy. His costume is falling apart. His day is falling apart. His time has been falling apart since he took the manager special. Please, Amin, stop fiddling with your microphone. Sorry. Your only contributions to the show at beginning of segments is to make noises that distract me.
Sorry.
I just hit you guys with an epic I happen to know. A truly epic I happen to know that Amin did not happen to know, even though it's one of the most famous moments in show history. An echoing stay white, but because Billy's costume is falling apart, I would like, before he falls apart for the rest of the day, for him to explain to us why he is claiming that we have been betrayed by our people.
Well, okay, so this is what's happening here, and I don't know if you've caught on to it. You may have felt this for some time, Dan, is I'm realizing we do shows in large part for entertain, at least in my view, to entertain the audience, entertain the masses. So sometimes we say things that, maybe we get involved, we get excited, and we say things that you're like, okay, it's fine, whatever, just joke here or there. And then it'll just go away. The people will hear it and we'll move on and we'll go on to the next thing, right? What I've found is that our social media department likes to clip those things and put them out there to I guess, clickbait and really cause problems for all of us. And it's happening more and more to me lately. Like, the more excited I get about certain things and the more personally I say certain things, I realize they're just cutting these clips of me saying not so nice things about a lot of people, and eventually it's going to come back to bite me. And I'm not a fan of this. And I sent a strongly worded text, and I said, yeah, what are you doing here? And then they said, do you want us to take down the Mario Cristobal clip? And I said, no, I don't care about him. But in the future, this may come back to bite me. Maybe let's not continue to do stuff
Billy,
like this.
Thank you. Billy?
We do this to Chris Sims all the time on God Bless Football. Billy.
Well, I mean, he has it coming. Come on.
Billy, I thank you for making that complaint a public one. I have had it about our company and our people for a while now. Very often the things that get clicked are things I've said that come back and have haunting results, like Warren Sapp, if he sees me in public and thinks that I said he has bad breath when it's only Stugotz who has said that he has bad breath, or when I get a beer bottle broken over my chin because people think I'm responsible for the Pell Grant scandal at the University of Miami because you guys have said I'm responsible for the Pell Grant scandal at the University of Miami. I have human cost that is on my chin, a scar on my chin from a beer bottle that I was hit with. Our people are always betraying us, and Billy, in your case, those social media people are awful. They are aggregate whores.
Terrible people.
They don't care. They're shameless. They want us to get in trouble and cause us problems. I'm watching a Jerry Springer documentary on Netflix on the problems that producers caused at Jerry Springer by not taking any responsibility for the fact that they were doing dumb shit with dumb people. That's what we do around here. Mm-hmm. You guys are going to get me and Billy harmed in today's America by getting your clicks this cheaply. My tone is shit today.
Yeah,
but
$7. Yeah,
get the phone out.
$5. The Venmo bucket. Yep.
Yeah. We had a situation where the 2001 Miami Hurricanes wanted to come and fight Dan not too long ago because of something someone said on this show.
You called the ball guy an asshole before. I mean,
no, I did not.
You are,
first of all,
playing with fire a little bit.
I said Dick.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Dick Sporting Goods.
He just thought his name was Richard.
Yeah, I don't know his name.
He didn't know until
he didn't
Dan
know my
said
name
it.
either, so it's fair.
If you want to see the bald guy in action at a Miami Heat game, you should go to Game Time. Download the Game Time app, create an account, use code Dan. We're going to get you $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. What time is it? It's Game Time.
Terms apply.
I was going to say, well done, right up until you... Well, you know what you did.
Oh.
We were, Amit and I were having a funny conversation. Dan just left, by the way.
Yes.
Yeah, that tone fine really gets him.
I don't think that really falls under the Venmo bucket fine chart here, where if you have that tone, pay $5, don't leave the show.
There's got to be a higher. There's got to be two tone levels, right? There's one that's a regular tone,
right?
And then there's what Dan just.
And
did.
there's Dan tone.
Yeah, Dan tone's got to be more than $5.
Do you double it every time there's a tone fine in one show?
Well, I was going to.
So the first fine for $5, but then the second time there's a tone issue, now it's $10.
Fines are only doubled on Tuesdays.
Yeah, Tuesday.
Repeat offender.
Complicated.
Yeah.
An opposite day, you take money out.
When is opposite day?
January 25th.
Okay.
This year.
Leap year? Anyway, we were talking about Todd Bowles.
Oh.
Why?
Because we didn't want to talk about the Padres anymore.
That's a good point. But that's also a good follow-up question.
It is a good question.
And his question is kind of the answer.
It is.
He's the coach you never hear about.
He's the coach that no one cares about.
Bang.
He's the coach. How?
He has a sweet spot.
How?
You know,
in the NFL, can a coach live in a space where it doesn't matter if he wins or loses? No one is saying Todd Bowles needs to win this game. Todd Bowles is on the hot seat. Todd Bowles could coach the Buccaneers for the remainder of time, and no one would care.
Stugotz, let me tell you right now, he's in what we like to call the sweet spot.
Yeah.
Right? A little bit to this side, now you're Sean McVay, now you're Shanahan. You've got to be a genius. You got to do something. A little bit to the other side, you're an idiot. How do you still have a job? When is the guy going to get out of here? The sweet spot, nobody even brings you up.
You know what I'm thinking? It might be because Baker's polarizing. If you have a polarizing quarterback, they kind of take all the attention. We don't really hear a lot about when you're talking about like McDermott, like
Right.
Josh Allen. Everyone talks about Josh Allen has to do it. No one talks about McDermott. Lamar Jackson has to do it. No one talks about Harbaugh. I think that's going on here. Everyone's kind of focused on Baker, and they don't really look at Bowles as much.
I would say if Lamar Jackson, if they lose to Pittsburgh, let's say, John Harbaugh, who's won 2 playoff games in the last decade, 2, with a 2-time MVP, by the way, he'd be in trouble.
But you hear more Lamar needs to do
No?
it. You don't hear John Harbaugh. You
do
think
hear
of
Lamar needs to do it.
You think
yes.
of Harbaugh as one of the better coaches in the league. I think you're wrong. I mean, maybe some noise would start, but he's definitely not losing his job.
Did you guys see what happened with Mike McCarthy yesterday? So Mike McCarthy, everyone assumed, was done. They were just going to let his contract expire and he'd not be the coach of the Cowboys anymore. And then the last couple of weeks is like, well, maybe he's done enough to keep his job. And then yesterday or the day before, the Bears requested to interview Mike McCarthy for their head coaching vacancy, which every team just is always like, yeah, okay, you can interview them. And the Cowboys said, no, you're not allowed to interview our coach.
They have to keep him now, right?
That's what it would seem like they're thinking of doing for some reason.
It's amazing because they only have until the 14th, right?
Yeah, it's only like this week. If not, then he can just go and interview with him anyways. So I don't know what they're trying to accomplish unless they sign him to an extension like in the next couple days.
Billy, that story fascinated me to no end yesterday. I was watching it unfold because I'm like, on the one hand, it's the Cowboys. Like, what are you doing? Either you want them or you don't want them. On the other hand, if you're the Bears, do you really think you need to get the jump on talking to Mike McCarthy? Like, if we don't talk to him now, by the time he becomes a free agent, he'll be gone by then.
But how happy was Mike McCarthy that they made that call?
I kind of feel like that's Stugotz, follow me if you will.
Yeah.
I kind of feel like that's a phone call you pick up and you say, hey, guys, I need you to do me a solid here.
He knows someone in the Chicago organization.
Look, you guys don't have to offer
me some leverage.
Yeah, don't offer me the job. Don't offer me the job. Just ask to interview me.
It'd be funny if it was like Mike himself, like called. He's like, hello.
Throws his voice off.
Yeah. Hey, I'm calling from the Chicago Bears. We would like to interview Mike McCarthy, please.
The only way that could be funnier is if his voice sounded like Micky Arison's in that clip.
Like this?
I can't get enough of. It's not what he said. What he said obviously is funny, given the context that Dan provided. The thing that made me collapse with laughter was the echo. The reverb on that voice. And I laugh hard because it makes it sound so much more ridiculous. But the other reason I laugh so hard...
Greg Cody, major penalty, 5 minutes,
That's me.
maximum.
What happened?
You did it to yourself?
You hit the button?
Accidentally.
Okay.
Accidentally.
Is there a fine for that?
Thank you for scaring the shit out of me.
Mistake, $1?
But yes,
Yeah,
that
that's
would
a
be
mistake.
$1.
Yeah, that's $1 right
Hold
there.
on.
Yeah,
There we go.
$1.
Let me open the Venmo
bucket.
But the other thing that made me laugh uncontrollably
About this?
is as I'm on the ground laughing, I started thinking to myself, what if that's how Micky Arison sounds like not talking into a mic? What if his voice just echoes and booms like that? Like, good morning,
Like a
morning.
mic
morning.
voice?
Yeah. Like that. It just drove me insane thinking about that. But yeah, Billy, Mike McCarthy, that's what I want. I want him to have that voice when he calls up the Cowboys. Hello, 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 hello.
But I mean, I want you to understand this, okay? Nick Sirianni is the only coach in Eagles history to coach that organization to the playoffs in his first 4 seasons as the head coach. If he loses to Green Bay this weekend at home, he's going to get fired.
That's his ass.
Todd Bowles loses this weekend, he'll be right back there next year. It's unbelievable.
I'll give you another name from history. Eventually, time caught up to him. Jeff Fisher?
Yeah.
Jeff Fisher was kind of in that sweet spot.
Yes.
Like, good enough.
Yes.
But not too good where we're like, hey, we have expectations.
Right.
But not bad enough to like, this guy's a bum.
And the crazy part is that their defense, which Bowles is a defensive guy, is not good. Like, if there's anything good with that team, it's the offense.
He's 1-2 in the postseason. They won a Super Bowl with Arians as the head coach. Brady was the quarterback. Bowles is basically, I mean, they made the playoffs 3 consecutive years, but he's 1-2 in the playoffs. I don't know what's going on in the Tampa sports market on Tampa Sports Radio, WDAE, the sports animal in Tampa. I know.
Wow.
I'm a local sports junkie. I am. But I don't know if they're passionate enough. It has to do with the city and the division, right? It must.
No, I don't think it's an organizational thing. I think he found the sweet spot. We all seek the sweet spot.
Is it his voice? He's got a very, soft-spoken voice. Maybe it's just, we don't think about him because he's just under the radar.
You tell me it doesn't echo? Stay why?
He doesn't get too emotional. He doesn't talk very much. He just kind of stands there.
I have one clip of Mike McCarthy talking, by the way.
I think just standing there is the key to longevity in the NFL.
Butterfingers.
Remember we used to have him on every year, just on
McCarthy,
Halloween to talk about Halloween?
Butterfingers.
Yeah.
We used to have a lot of people on this show.
We did.
Man, that was a time. We used to get people.
What happened?
We still get people.
We get people.
Oh, I have breaking news to share with you guys. Just a tease of sorts, if you will.
Who do we have today coming up?
We secured an interview for God Bless Football that's going to air on Friday with Todd from JoshAllen.com.
No way!
Yeah, we're going to talk to Todd.
Yeah.
He has since I reached out to him, raised the price of JoshAllen.com to $300,000 now.
Attaboy.
We're making him money.
Put him on the show. The market just went up.
I'm very excited for that, Billy. I have many, many questions.
I just saw Billy raise his... What does a T-Rex have? Would that be a claw? Is it a hoof?
No, it's a paw.
A paw?
Yeah.
Okay. I just saw he raised it, and I was just like, what is that thing?
Stugotz, you asked the question that I thought Billy was going for.
What?
So who do we have today?
Yes, because Amin made the statement, we used to get big guests around here. Chris says we still get big guests. Who do we have today?
We have a weather expert coming up next.
Butterfingers.
Because Padre talk wasn't enough.
What a year 2024 was. Happy New Year's, everybody. New Year is this week. And some of you are going to be counting down to the new year with a lot of friends and a lot of family around. And that's a lot of palates. How do you make everybody happy? You make them happy by making New Year's time a Miller time. It's a beer with taste you know you can depend on that won't let anybody down. No games, no gimmicks, just great beer for people who like beer. In all my favorite moments of 2024, Miller Lite was right there by my side. Responsibly, of course. Miller Lite is brewed for taste. It hits different than other light beers. Simple ingredients like malted barley for rich, balanced toffee note flavors, and that iconic golden color that we all know and love. The original light beer since 1975 and still the very best one. Miller Lite, great taste, 96 calories. Go to MillerLite.com/Dan to find delivery options near you, or you can pick up some Miller Lite pretty much anywhere they sell beer. Tastes like Miller time. Celebrate responsibly. Miller Brewing Company, Milwaukee, Wisconsin, 96 calories and 3.2 carbs per 12 ounces.
The Dan the Batard Show with Stugotz is sponsored by BetterHelp. Every January feels like a fresh start. 365 blank pages, just waiting for your story to be written. In 2025, maybe you're ready for a plot twist. Ready to revise the parts of your story holding you back. Life isn't about New Year's resolutions that disappear by February. It's about picking up the pen and becoming the author of your life. Therapy can help you do just that. Therapy isn't just for the big traumas. It's for anyone who wants to grow, heal, and thrive. With BetterHelp, therapy is convenient and affordable. It's fully online. You can access it anywhere, anytime. BetterHelp connects over 5 million people with a network of 30,000 licensed therapists, specialized, experienced, and ready to help. If it's not a right fit, you can switch therapists at any time at no extra cost. Write your story with BetterHelp. Visit BetterHelp.com/DLB today to get 10% off your first month. That's BetterHelp, HELP.com/DLB.